Alright, good afternoon everyone. So today I'm doing probably one of my last to final upgrades to get this car ready and able to do track sessions and driving hard without any issues. So now I'm going to be installing a oil cooler. The reason I'm installing an oil cooler because the last cruise I went on, my oil temperatures went all the way up to 270 degrees, which is way outside the threshold. So I got this little oil cooler. It's actually pretty small, and I got it from Amazon. And the whole kit costs about $50 or $60. So it comes with that little oil cooler, and it comes with a oil filter housing extension. I'm not going to be using this. I'm going to be using an actual adapter because the LS blocks can actually mount an oil cooler adapter to it. So I'm waiting for that to come in. It's going to come in on Saturday. And I also got 10 AN fittings, hoses. Let me get this out. So I got these as well. So for the meantime, right now I'm going to jack it up. I'm going to see if my lines are long enough, and I'm going to mount the cooler. And then hopefully the last thing I just have to do is just put the adapter in and then bolt those up, so it'll be relatively easy. So let's go. First thing I'm going to do, jack up the car and then see where I can mount this and see how long the lines can go. Okay, we got the car jacked up. Let's get up underneath here and see how much room we got to mess with. So I don't have it up high enough. Okay, so right there, that's where the adapter is gonna go. Take these two bolts out, and then you put an adapter there, and I got 90-degree fitting elbows to help run it forward. So right now I'm gonna mock up the hose and see how far I can take this, and then mount the cooler there. So let me mess with this real quick. Okay, it looks like I got plenty of room and slack to run it where I want to. So just running it underneath the frame. On top of the frame, and right here as well. And I'm gonna run it through the side of the radiator shroud, and I think I can get it to fit right in here in this gap because it's how small. So I will have to drill a hole, get a better angle. So yeah, I will have to drill a hole in the side there and see if I can mount it right there. Just like I drill a hole over there for the transmission cooler. And it'll get maximum cooling being right here on the front surface area. If not, I can probably lay it flat actually right here in this gap. And as air comes in here from the front and comes up, it'll pass through there. But yeah, let's try to mount it here on the front and let's see if I can make it work. Okay, so I got the hoses already attached, and I kind of got it mocked up how I wanted to make it go up inside of here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna drill a hole kind of like where my finger's pointing, right there on the very low bottom. Drill a hole and then just route it. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill a hole. Got my this already set up. It's gonna have to be a pretty big hole because these are some actually big lines. So let me go ahead and do that and get going and see how I can mock it up and see if I can get it to work right with the hoses going through. If the hoses go through perfectly fine, then I can just go ahead and put the retainers through just like I did on the transmission cooler, and it'll be pretty much a done deal until I get the adapter. Okay, as you can see, I got the holes drilled and already fished the hoses through. So sorry about the zoom. So as of right now, the next step is to actually just mount it and then get the hoses out of the way and retain them. Now the hole's a little big, but I definitely needed the room. So yeah, go ahead and put this up in here, retain it to the front, and put the hoses retained back there so that they'll be out of the way, and just make sure they can reach. But I have like maybe 4 to 6 inches of slack of extra room, so I should be good. So let's go ahead and get this little cooler. I know it's a little cooler, but it's the same dimensions as the cooler you would buy from just about the same dimensions as a cooler you can get from Weigenfelter's. Their full kit that costs like $600. So I spent like I spent like 80 bucks on this with all the hoses and shit, hoses and stuff, and another $100 for the adapter. So about 200 bucks as opposed to 600 bucks is, and it's just a normal cooler. I don't know why it would cost so much, but anyway, quit rambling. Gonna go ahead and get this mounted and get that secured somewhere back over there and kind of call it a day for this segment. So let's go and do that. Okay, so I got it mocked up in there. I actually took the bottom hose and routed it up higher. I know I got holes in the side, but oh well, I'm not too worried about it. So I routed it up higher to get a pinch out of the hose that was occurring at the bottom one. So that's where I'm at right now. There was a pinch happening there. So it's kind of lined up to where I want to. Now I just need to stick the retainers through. I'm gonna stick them directly through the actual fins instead of using these holes that came supplied, because I don't think they're gonna go through properly. So I'm just gonna stick them straight through and then stick it all the way through the radiator. So let me do that real quick. Might have to loosen up the radiator to make it do what I want to do properly. Okay everyone, so we're back at it again. Improve Racing hooked me up with the oil cooler adapter. So I dropped the I canceled my order from the Liegenfelter one because it wasn't going to ship till May and I don't want to wait that long. So what they sent me is two 90-degree elbows. I had to pay for those separately. They cost about 30 something or $27, something like that, for both of them. And this right here cost about $130. About $30 more than what Liegenfelter was gonna charge, but definitely worth to have it here on time. So I already loosely put these 10 AN fittings. They go from 8 to 10. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just tighten these down a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and remove, as I showed earlier. So you can see I got the hoses already set up where they need to go. So the next thing is just remove that block off plate. As you can see right there, I'm trying to get the light right. That block off, I'm at the block off plate. Yeah, it is a block off plate. These two nuts, bolts right here, and slide it in. So I just changed the oil only a few weeks ago, so I have plenty of oil life left. So to be honest with you, I'm gonna try to take it off, and hopefully, I'm hoping not any oil comes out, but I have a good feeling oil's gonna come out. I don't know, I'm debating it. I brought 8 quarts of brand new oil and a new oil filter just to do it and do it right. But I'm like, you know, I just put oil in there. Why I need to put more in there? So I think I'm just gonna take the block off plate off, and whatever comes out, and then just top it back off after I get everything going. But hopefully I don't make this a disaster more than it needs to be, but I have a good feeling I am. But let me go ahead and tighten those fittings right there on the actual adapter and get going. So we ran into a bit of an issue with the fittings. Basically they need to be 10 here and 10 here, and they're not 10 on each side. I even tried to shave down the neck, thinking that the neck was too long and it wouldn't go inside the hose, but it's just too small. So I called O'Reilly's, tried to talk to the guy through the phone, and of course he couldn't figure out. I thought O'Reilly's was very technical. They couldn't figure out what the heck I was talking about. So I called a different O'Reilly's. He knew what I was talking about, but they didn't have any in stock. Magically, Amazon has it in stock, and they can have it here tomorrow if I order within the next few hours. So that's what I did. So car's gonna remain in the air until I get the proper fittings from Amazon, and I'll finish this up tomorrow with the right fittings. I'm just glad I didn't take anything off and let oil all drip out, just in case I need to go drive the car somewhere. So we'll pick this back up tomorrow. If all else fails, I can always just do the old-fashioned way with this extension, with this adapter. I really don't want to do this way, but yeah, the right fitting will come in eventually, and we can get this wrapped up. So yeah, till tomorrow. Okay, so we're back out here again. I just got the new fittings in from Amazon. Hold on, let me open them. So as you can see right here, here is the fittings I got from Improved Racing. It has this long neck sticking out, plus it's not the right size. I think it's a size 8. So what I needed is a size 10. As you can see the difference, and it doesn't have that neck. So I'm gonna go ahead and test it out, see if it works. If it does work, then this should be smooth sailing. So let's go and do that. Okay, so all the fittings fit fine on there. I already took off the block off plate, and it's not oozing out as bad as I thought. So I could probably just get away with wiping it real quick and then actually putting it on there. Sorry about the lighting. I'm trying to get my headlamp on there so you can better see it. Hold on a second. Okay, so there you go. So you can see it's not oozing out as bad. I could just wipe it and get it on there real quick. So let's go ahead and install this adapter real and move forward from that point. Okay, so I finally got it on there. Let me get the light right for you guys. So I finally got it on there. It was really difficult getting those two Allen wrenches to go in there correctly. I mean, them Allen bolts to go in there correctly. I think I kind of cross-threaded them and messed up the threads, but it did tighten in there and I didn't over-tight it. So the only way to check and see if it's a good seal is actually fill it up with some more oil and get the car running and see if it actually leaks from there. If it does leak, then I gotta, you know, fix those holes or figure out a way to plug those holes, and I'll just run the normal way with the extension on the oil filter. I kind of feel like I should have just did the oil filter extension because it just would have been a lot easier, and it probably just would have dropped the oil filter, you know, probably, you know, about that height, you know, just a little bit. It probably would just probably added about, you know, half an inch just lower, you know, which the pipes are there, but I think, you know, damaging the oil is a lot more, I mean, the oil filter is a lot more detrimental than bumping the pipes. If you can't see here, where's it at? Already right here, you see this huge dent already, just because this pipe hangs lower, it already got dented. Yeah, that huge part, that's a big cave in. But anyway, we're talking about the oil filter, the oil cooler. So the lines are all ran, as you can see right here. I'm running them just underneath the frame, and you know, they're going all the way. Sorry about the lighting, I'm on my back and I can't really tell. They're going all the way here and then running into the side. So next thing is I'm gonna lower the car down, put some oil in there, probably just another quart, and then let it run and see if it leaks. So let's wish me luck. Okay, huge disaster. This is all oil. Every single bit of oil came out of the car. So let's jack it up and figure out what the fuck is wrong. Okay, so this is what we got. It's really bad. It's coming from back behind with the threads. I mean, it's in there nice and tight, but I don't know what's going on. So I'm gonna pull the adapter off and figure out what's going on. I had the car started, and I came on here and looked myself after I added 2 quarts in there, just to, you know, real quick to see where it's coming from, and it's gushing out behind the actual adapter. So yeah, I'm not gonna start the car again because I'm pretty sure there's almost no oil in there. I'm gonna pull the adapter off and kind of figure out where to go from there. So yeah, I think at this point, I think I might just do the sandwich plate, the extender thing. But I gotta figure out if I can get a good seal on the actual adapter, so I can go that way. But yeah, so let's go ahead and pull it off and then see what we got. Okay, so this is where we're at. I went ahead and took the oil filter off, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the old block off plate on with some RTV on it, and then I'm gonna do the original, the without the adapter method, and then add oil and see if I get leaks. Hopefully the bolts can thread in there with no issues, but that's what I'm gonna try to do. So hopefully I can get this car running tonight. I don't have to go into work tomorrow, but I just want it to work right. So yeah, let's start going. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I didn't put the plate on there just yet, but I wanted to make sure this adapter and all this stuff worked first. So what I did, it came with 2 brass fittings for 2 different sizes. And what I did is I put the 1 brass fitting in first and tightened it down. Well, originally I took out the fitting you see right now, the silver brass fitting, or the silver metal fitting, was originally what an oil filter was. So I removed that. That was the actual oil filter adapter that goes into the block. I removed that. Then I took one of the 2 brass fittings that came with the kit, which is essentially, you know, let's see if I get the light on here, which is essentially like this, just a different size. Put that into the block, and then put the oil filter adapter on. Then I put the fitting into, then I put the original fitting into that adapter, if that makes sense. So basically I took, you know, took this silver one here and put in and screwed it just into one just like this. So another thing is I just got to bolt this, screw this in as far as possible so I can try to get this at an angle. One thing I might do is put the 90-degree elbows that I brought, maybe put it in right here so that, you know, it'll point this direction, and we can not have the hose try to run to this header. But that's something I can work out if this all fits, you know, fits in here great perfectly, which it looks like it will. The next thing I'm gonna do, I probably might back this out so I can just have the working room, is I'm gonna go ahead and put the plate on there, and put some silicone RTV on there and try to seal that up and hope it doesn't leak, and hopefully my threads still look good and I didn't strip them out, because I think that might be the issue. But let me go and remove this plate here, and then I'm gonna go and put the block off plate on. Okay, so the plate's on there nice and solid and has RTV on it. Let that dry before I run any oil or heat up the car. As you can see, here's the brass fitting I have in there. The next step is I'm gonna go ahead and detach everything that I have here, and then go ahead and do the sandwich plate, not the extension plate up there. So yeah. Okay, we have everything all hooked up now. The next step is I'm gonna drain whatever oil is left in the pan, which shouldn't be that much because a lot did come out, and then fill it up with oil, put the oil filter on there, and see if it leaks. So wish me luck. Okay, so this random dog that just showed up to my house, so I'm gonna try to figure out who it is. But for the car, it's holding pressure. I know my dog's going nuts because they can sense it, but it's holding pressure. It's at 54. Usually it's like in the 60s when it's so cold, but I guess it's the cooler, and I don't know, maybe because of the cooler and extra lines, it lowered the pressure a little bit because it has more capacity. But the oil's circulating right, because I was getting some knocking because it was dry because all the oil came out. This is probably like maybe a third of what got soaked up. I mean, a third of what's left, because a lot more got soaked up and it's in that bag over there. So I'm gonna put down the towel here, soak it up, but everything seems fine. And probably get one more quart of oil. I'll put about 6 quarts in there, so I'll probably put about 7 in there, but of course after I measure it. But as of right now, no leaks. Everything looks very positive. It was a headache. It should have been straightforward. I wasted like $130 on that adapter, but hey, you live and you learn. If you haven't been to the channel before, please like, please subscribe, and thank you for watching. Let's figure out who this dog is.